Hidden secrets. China will be the new world leader. In just 3 decades, China has gone from being an isolated, impoverished country in Asia to a growing superpower that rivals the United States. As Chinese influence spreads around the globe, it is upending the roles and connections that have dominated the international system for the past 50 years. The newest phase in China's rise as a global force is President Xi Jinping's big plan for the world economy, which draws on the millennia-old Silk Road trading route. China's increasing influence is being felt worldwide, from investing in Pakistan to sending peacekeeping to South Sudan. But is there a cost to the nation's influence? Welcome back to Proactive Investing. Today, we will look at the hidden secrets that will make China the new world leader. If you enjoy the video, please review other videos on the channel, and let's examine 5 ways that China's financial heft and influence on global culture, education, travel, and the balance of power in the military are transforming societies and people's lives. Islamabad's Chinatown. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, abbreviated to CPEC, has become a catchphrase for Pakistan's long-desired economic development. The corridor, which is the component of China's One Belt, One Road plan, is a collection of projects including road networks, a fiber optic cable project, railway lines, a deep-sea port, coal mines, and solar farms that Pakistan sees as a significant potential to expand its economy. The corridor, which will follow the ancient Silk Road from the Himalayas in Pakistan's northern border with China all the way down to the Arabian Sea, was announced with much fanfare in 2015 when Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Islamabad Island and announced a $46 billion investment plan, equivalent to roughly 20% of Pakistan's economic output. According to Mustafa Haider, chief executive of the Pakistan-China Institute, the realization of these projects and their promised wealth has resulted in the influx of a vast expat community, which is estimated at 20,000 people. It's a community whose influence is gradually permeating Pakistani society. In April, a commercial released by Shan Foods, a Pakistani spice business, depicted Pakistani and Chinese neighbors bonding over their love of biryani. The ad quickly went viral, garnering over 59,000 shares on Facebook in the first week. The bulk of foreigners Pakistanis communicate with daily is undoubtedly Chinese, even though the advertising wasn't made with the CPEC in mind. "They're our best neighbor," says Humayun Farooq. He is the general marketing manager for Shan Foods. Quote, "If this ad has given CPEC a human face, then I'm glad for that." End quote. Across the town, Pakistanis sip cheap Chinese beer and devour amber Shen dumplings from China's Anhui region. Shen and the other Chinese expats browse at a few grocery stores in Islamabad. Popular American snacks such as Chips Ahoy and Skittles are available in Chinese packaging, as are cans with stewed pork, a delicacy which is banned in Pakistan. Huashang Weekly, a multilingual weekly comprising Chinese and Pakistani journalists, debuted last year. It publishes and delivers 30,000 copies weekly to Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi. These developments are exceptional in Islamabad, a city that has never had a Chinatown. However, China's love for Pakistan does come with risks. According to analysts, Pakistan will owe China $90 billion if all proposed projects go ahead. However, there are no complaints about Chinese investment on the streets of Islamabad. According to Sabina Zakir, an administrator of the Roots Millennium Schools, a system of education that has mandated Mandarin classes for all pupils beginning at age 8 and continuing through middle school, the times are changing and Pakistan must keep up. She refers to the nation's northern neighbor as the sleeping dragon has finally awoken, and the guardians of our future, our children, need to be equipped to handle this new roaring beast. Education. Since 2008, the number of Chinese students in the UIUC has increased 5-fold to 5,629, a pattern replicated in college towns across the United States as cash-strapped public universities welcome the higher fee paid by overseas students. The influence of Chinese students on this 207,000-person town is apparent. Bubble tea shops, Sichuan food places, and Chinese hair salons have sprouted up. At least 6 Chinese eateries can be found on one block. Since the fall of 2008, the number of Chinese students in the United States has tripled to 329,000. Chinese students believe that a US degree will impress employers at home and are also transforming US classrooms and shaping how they learn. China's influence on US schools is also seen by the 110 Confucius Institutes that Beijing has established across the country. Their purpose is to promote Chinese culture and language, but numerous US universities have severed relations due to concerns that a concealed ideological agenda will undermine academic freedom. Infrastructure. Kenyan and Chinese workers are putting the finishing touches on the largest infrastructure project in Kenya's post-independence history, a $3.8 billion, 472-kilometer or 293-mile runway running from Mombasa to Nairobi. This will be part of a more extensive Chinese-built railway linking several countries. When the locomotives and freight wagons begin to roll in June, the line will be a game-changer for Kenya. The government, home to East Africa's largest ports, transports its goods over a perilous two-lane roadway. The new railroad, according to Alexander Wang, an associate professor at Shanghai International Studies University who has undertaken field study on the railroad, would carry 50% of the freight from Mombasa to the Ugandan border, compared to the 4% for the existing British colonial-built railway. China's participation in Africa has sparked fierce discussion, with charges of poor workmanship, lousy worker abuse, and a lack of transparency plagued investments. The Chinese state-backed China Road and Bridge Corporation, which is driving the Kenyan railway project, has attempted to deflect criticism by employing 25,000 Kenyans and training all crew members, including drivers. It has also constructed extraordinary underpasses for wildlife to cross the railroad, which runs through 2 national parks. According to Kenyan NGO Save the Elephants, at least 8 elephants were killed last year whilst confused by construction activities. Kenya Railways, which will run the line, has yet to reply to several requests for comment, but officials have previously stated that the 2 projects should not be compared because the Kenyan train has a larger freight capacity and runs through more populated areas, making it more expensive. When CNN, China Road and Bridge Corporation sent queries to its Chinese headquarters, which reacted slowly. Travel. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, 135 million Chinese tourists visited abroad last year, spending a stunning $261 billion, far exceeding the $122 billion spent by Americans. A weaker pound following Brexit, more flexible visa restrictions, and improved connections with China has made the UK more desirable to Chinese tourists. In 2015, 270,000 people visited the United Kingdom, a 46% increase from the previous year. Like the rest of Europe, Britain is still putting out the welcome mat. According to Visit Britain, which promotes tourism, Chinese travellers stay longer and spend more. Visit Britain is also attempting to make the UK more China-ready, with 500 businesses signed up for the Great China Welcome Initiative, including hotels that serve Chinese breakfasts and offer Chinese TV channels and merchants that accept Chinese payment systems such as UnionPay or Alipay. Military. China has learned the harsh reality of global power in South Sudan. In July of 2016, 2 United Nations peacekeeping mission soldiers in Juba came home in caskets. The Chinese military had not suffered a combat death in almost 3 decades. It was a surprise to the government. They don't want a deadly toll from what they regard as a soft power effort, said Sheng Dingli. They are an international relations professor at Fudan University in Shanghai. The presence of Chinese peacekeepers on African land is only one aspect of China's aim to match the United States as a global military player. It's constructing its first military station in Djibouti, which is just a few miles from Camp Lemonia, the US base that opened in 2008, and it's preparing a blue water navy capable of operating in open oceans, with the launch of its first domestically built aircraft carrier in April. And whilst China's military gear does not yet rival that of the United States, it is becoming more advanced. China contributes 2,322 troops to UN peacekeeping operations worldwide, the most of any UN Security Council member, and has pledged 8,000 for a rapid response force. The US has only 42 troops but contributes the most to the UN peacekeeping budget, which US President Donald Trump wanted to cut in half. The US, Russia, and China are engaged in a power battle in the name of world peace, democratic collaboration, trade, and human rights. The inevitable conflict of national interests that occur in today's state structure is what drives this conflict. Power struggles have always been a driving force in history and probably will continue to be so. The three big powers may or may not start international wars, but their relations will always be adversarial and occasionally downright hostile. And that concludes today's video. Check out more videos on our channel, and thanks for watching us here at Proactive Investing. We will see you in the next video.